First, then.
Okay.
Hi, Kelsie Toole here with Chicago Title with your Tuesday title tip. My goal is to always help you save time, save money, and generate new business. So today I have with me George Medina of ReeceNichols Southgate. He has agreed to share his story of success with you to help you in your business. So say hi, George.
Hi, everybody.
So we are at the Prairie Village office, and George you've been doing real estate now for 20 years?
20 years, 10 part-time. I was selling, back in 1997 I started, and I was selling liquor wholesale during the day. I did real estate nights and weekends for 10 years.
Wow.
So in 2007, I went full-time, so I've been full-time since.
Wow, and so in 2007, when you went full-time, that would have been right before the recession hit.
Yes, it was not good timing, but I didn't have a choice at the time. And so I made the best of it and just said, okay, here goes. So I think it helped because I focused on one job then. And so I went after it, and the market went down in 2008, 2009, 2010, and bottomed out in 2011. So probably not the best thing, but like I said, I was,
But 2011 was your best year.
2011, right. It was my best year in a tough market. So I been very fortunate, and yeah, I was actually the #1 individual agent at ReeceNichols in 2011.
Wow. So, and that was probably the worst year in our real estate market, and that was your best.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank
Well,
you.
first off, I want to say congratulations on 10 years full-time in real estate. You and your daughter are basically by yourself. Oh, Facebook Live when you forget to turn off the phone on your phone.
Oh, that's what it is. I was wondering what's going on here.
10 years full-time in real estate. You and your daughter had your best year. It's just you and your daughter and an administrative assistant. And last year you did $43 million worth of sales.
Yes, 43 million, and we did 137 closed transactions.
That's a lot with 3 people.
Yeah, so 2 salespeople and an assistant, which we could not have done without that, kind of behind the scenes, but keeping all our paperwork in order, and there's so much involved, and really when you have an assistant, it takes you to the next level. We actually had 2013, we had someone just part-time, and then since 2014, we've had someone full-time. And in fact, just recently, we hired an additional person to help with our marketing and social media.
Nice, nice. So let's take it back to the beginning, because I want to kind of share with our viewers, I want to talk about farming, planting the seeds, how, eventually it all comes to fruition. So in 2007, you went full-time, and you didn't have any part-time job, no backup income. You've got to support your family, and
That was a scary time.
What do you do? Like, how do you make that happen?
Well, I think a lot of it, you just got to go out there and you got to focus. And I had a lot of support, a lot of friends and neighbors and everyone knowing that I was going full time at this, and sure there was a lot of prayers on the way. So basically, I didn't realize the market was going to go bad, but at the same time, so I started knocking on doors. I felt like at the time I knocked on doors of homes that were sellers that expired listings. They canceled their listing with a previous agent. I knocked on doors of open house. People are selling their house for sale by owner, and I did open houses. And since I'd done it for 10 years part-time before that, I was able to still have some clients. So I'd call past clients, and they get referrals from them. So it's kind of like everything. There's not like one thing I did. I just did everything. I didn't want to leave any stones unturned, so I just went for it. But I did a little something different at the time, and it was just something I just felt at the time made sense. Nobody really told me. I felt like at the time we're 207, 208, it was kind of like, I just felt like a lot of people would get things in the mail and people would throw them away. So I said, okay. So then I thought also at the time there was a no-call. Everybody was big in a no-call list. And so people could turn you in, you could get fined if back then. And I don't know, I still think it's around, but I don't think anybody pays attention anymore.
Nobody's worried about getting fined. The CFPB is going to show up at any moment. So,
so I just would knock on doors. I'd concentrate, and I do it like in January. I kind of got a list together like the last 2-3 weeks in December, figured out where I was going to go, and I would go knock on doors, usually on a Saturday, knowing that the sellers are probably home at the time, and knowing it wouldn't be so dark and so forth.
And you focused on your neighborhoods that you were familiar with.
I focused mainly in Brookside and Waldo and Plaza. So again, I was pretty successful. They either weren't going to sell again, or they're going to wait 90 days so the days on the market would erase. But no, I had really a good success rate, and it was a good part of my business at the time, and I was out there to do whatever. I was out there shaking trees, making something happen. So.
And you mentioned you would go to garage sales? I
would go also to garage sales, estate sales, and if they didn't have a real estate sign in front, I'd ask them if they were moving. Sometimes they were, sometimes they weren't, just cleaning out stuff, which everybody needs to do once in a while. So, but yeah, it's, I was trying to just think. It wasn't anything I read or somebody told me to do this. I just felt like, okay, how am I going to do this? And so it worked in 2008. Think of it this way. The market went down in 8, 9, 10, and 11. Every year I did better. So 2007, 2008 I did a little better than 07. 2009 I did better. 2010, and then 2011 was my best year. So I just think a lot of it was focusing and hard work, which there's a lot of agents that work hard, and they'll know that that's what it takes. But I also, one thing I did from the beginning, and part of it was because when I had my other job, I did this 2 jobs for 10 years. I thought, I'm not going to go all over the place. I was kind of limited, so I thought, I'm going to just sell to my neighbors and friends. So let's say my neighborhood and friends, and in the area I live in. So that's kind of what I did without knowing that. I knew it was a good neighborhood. I enjoyed living there, but I didn't know that it would turn out to be what it has today. And so that's a big thing. And again, that's really branding without really knowing that, hey, I mean, let's say one zip code that we specialize in is 64113. A couple of years ago, it was ranked number 10 in the whole country, zip code. I mean, that's huge. And so that's, again, we sell other areas and zip codes, but I mean, I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
So I really wanted to be a household name. I really, was all about branding, and I was at the time always thinking, from what I've read and people told me, go after the listing. So that's what I was focused on. If you list a home, your sign's in front, you're going to get people calling you from the sign. You're also going to hold that house open. You're going to get people walking into the house, meeting them. If that's not the house, you help them buy, or try to help them buy another house. So I think a lot of that is branding. They see your name out there. You're on the internet. Somebody pulls up your website, they're going to see all your listings. So again, I really think if you have listings, the buyers will come.
And you always hold your houses open when you have a listing?
Yes,
always.
Either my daughter or I are usually who holds it open. But and some sellers don't want to have open houses, but you just. And I would say the way the market is and everything, you don't have to have open houses. Everybody looks on, they got a smartphone, everybody looks on the internet first. Your first showings are really online. If you don't have professional pictures, they're looking at those pictures and the verbiage. So we try to really make that important, because if they don't like what they see online, they're not going to call their realtor or us or anybody to show them that house. So that is like the most important thing, besides trying to get it priced right. It's all about price and condition. Homes are selling, and we're right now experiencing a seller's market.
Yes, which is super fun.
Which is great. But it's just a lot of fun, and it's, again, it's challenging sometimes when you're helping a buyer, because sometimes there's multiple offers and there's just not enough homes on the market because the inventory is low. So I would say. So
you guys should all list if there's any buyers or sellers out there. List!
She said that.
So you are definitely involved in your market, and I know that you do lots of things, but you're involved in your church.
Yeah. Yes.
And you give back to your community. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, and again, a big thing besides, I always feel really strongly, and this is something that, I've even told other agents in my office, if they want to get their business going and so forth, is to give back. I really feel like when you give back to your community or church or whatever you're involved in, you'll get back. I mean, I think that's huge, and I really think that's something that if people aren't doing that, they should make that part of what they do, because it really makes a difference. I think some of the things that I do personally, I mean, we donate to a lot of different places. It's just not one entity, but as far as business, we're on Zillow. I think some people like it, some don't, but I mean, one of the main reasons why I like Zillow is because we have like over 100 reviews online. So people get online to buy anything.
Right.
So if they're looking there, they're going to see our reviews, and it's people that have written in there, either me or my daughter have helped buy or sell a home. So I think that's a big thing. We also have a billboard on 72nd and Warnell Road as you head south. It's been up for 5 years. We mix it up, we make it fun. It's not always, just about business, but, we've had times where we had the Florida Marlins guy on there with us.
Yeah.
There was a song one time, "Here's my number, so call me maybe." That was popular. We did that, and I even had my wife on there once with pink boxing gloves, raising her hands up because she's a cancer survivor.
Oh.
And so that was kind of neat. And I remember when my daughter started. I have 2 daughters, so my oldest is in business with me, Ely, and I remember we had a little picture of her on my shoulders flexing because she was a big athlete, and now she's big in the weightlifting, CrossFit, whatever. And I like that picture because I had a lot of hair. So I was flexing, she was on top of me, and it said, we brought muscle to the market is strong. Something like, I can't even remember the tagline now, but something about muscles and so forth and whatever. So, but so anyway, it was kind of neat. So we do different things all the time. We mix it up, every 30 to 60 days.
And you've done flyers with your neighborhood association, and you've got a poster at the grocery store. Like there's more than one way that you're letting the neighborhood know that you're the neighborhood expert.
So I think that's been big. So we in our subdivision, most people have like a newsletter, and so we're in that newsletter, and so I think that helps. And again, it goes up to I don't know, maybe 1,000 or so people that live close to us. Something new we tried last year, and we're doing it this year. There's a magazine rack that has everything to do with real estate inside. Actually, it's the one we have is in Price Chopper in Brookside. And so above that, we have like a poster that was made for us, and it has our contact information, and it has somewhere where you can put business cards. So people do pick them up and so forth. And so I look at that. I think a few years ago, I was on House Hunters on HGTV. So that was a big boost then. I never really watched the show until I was on TV. So I was really amazed that how many people watched that show. I don't know if they still do.
I love that show, yeah.
But I mean, I felt like I was a rock star when it first came out. And in fact, I even have DVD now that I pass out if somebody's interested. And they had like reruns for like 10 times. So I got a lot of mileage out of that for, I don't know, a couple of years and stuff. So.
It's probably on Netflix or something.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you can still find it and look at it. But anyway, that was kind of a neat thing. It was kind of a boost that year, and then there's always something. I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to see how I can become better. We're trying to get systems in place. And again, a key is to have someone there that can help you, behind the scenes, so we can go out and do what we do best. And
So what was the number one mistake that you think you made?
I kind of learned on the way, but I would say I don't know if it's a mistake or not, it's probably not getting into real estate sooner, full time. So that really has changed my life completely. I've always felt like I was, a people person in sales and so forth, but if I knew what I knew now, that back then I would have done it a lot sooner. So, there's mistakes you make, but they're little, and I try to learn by. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I try to learn by my mistakes and come on, but I don't know of any really big mistake. That would have to be not getting into it sooner.
What was the best decision that you've made?
I really feel like the best thing that's helped really is 2012 really changed when my daughter joined, and actually, contrary to what people will believe, I never asked her to be on the team, but my next door neighbor, Molly, asked her. They talked, and she had got her MBA, and she was out of school, and she played sports her whole life, and that was kind of winding down. And I guess she had said, you know what, you got to go help your dad until you figure out what you want to do. And she thought, okay, so she kind of brought it up to me. Hey, I think I'll help you out and so forth. I just was coming off my best year, 2011, in a bad market, but so that's kind of what happened. We kind of took from there. I didn't know if she was going to be there 3 months or a year or what. And we're going on. This will be her, actually. This is beyond her 6th year, I think now, starting her 6th year. So she seems like she's in, and she's done well every year, and she's really outgoing and gets a lot of referrals, leads, and it's nice because she's a lot younger than me, and so we kind of we cover a lot of area now. So not everybody wants to work with an old guy like me. So she's a lot better looking, and she's younger, and so it's worked for us. I don't know how sometimes I wonder how we go out and sell as much as we do. It just at the end of the year we go, whoa, wow, look at this. So we just go out there and boom, and we've since 2012 I think we were averaging now, closing one house every 3 days for 5 years in a row. And so that's a lot. That's me and her combined. But we have fun. We love our area. We were born and raised here in Kansas City, and most of our clients, become our friends. And we don't shake hands at closing; we hug.
Aww.
So I think we just do what we do. It seems to be working. So we're very passionate about what we do.
Awesome. So for my viewers that are new in the industry, they're going to have lots of people calling them, offering them, hey, you got to buy this, you got to try this, it's going to help you sell more real estate. This is going to help you sell more real estate. How do you decide when they call you what you will pay for, what you will try, what you won't?
Like a new buyer?
Like somebody calls you something like Zillow marketing, but not Zillow.
Oh, something like trying to sell me something. I'm always feel like I listen to people on everything. I've had people ask me, here, can I meet with you? Can I have a coffee? Let's go do this talk. I don't think I've ever said no to that, but then I kind of look and see. I just feel like I should just, I know what it's like when you're cold calling and you're trying to get something done. But I look at it and see if it's cost effective. Right now is different than when it was years ago, because now I feel like we kind of got everything in place. We kind of know our marketing dollars. I think that just takes time, but so, again, I don't, you know, I listen, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna go and try something new.
Right. You listen long enough to know whether or not it's for you.
I can tell, you know, but I give the person a courtesy, and sure, I'll listen, you know, whether it's on the phone or in person. I just think that's the good thing to do, you know.
Well, thank you so very much. Everybody give George a big round of applause, and thank you for helping us out in our business. I know that it sounds simple, door knocking sounds simple, but you have to actually go and do it and talk to people and ask them for business. And
a lot of times I got business, and after I got the listing, and you know, they were different. My wife was always amazed that people would answer the door to me and invite me in. I mean, these are strangers,
right?
Okay, and I, you know, again, a lot of it, you know, I'd ask them sometimes whether it was a for sale by owner, I remember, or if it was an expired or canceled listing. If they didn't know me at the time, I'd say, okay, after I got them to sign, you know, the agreement, and I'd say, well, can you tell me why you chose me? Sometimes they're interviewing, a lot of times they interview other agents too. And a lot of times they said, because you knocked on the door. So, I mean, I don't know, but, you know, it gets harder to knock on doors now, but at the same time, I think that was a big thing. If I was a new agent, I would tell people, go do open houses. If you don't have any listings, go hold open houses of people in your office. And I would say really in the area you want to be in. And I don't stress enough is trying to be a household name, trying to be the neighborhood expert. It's hard because, you know, you could be spread out and so forth, but I think it's hard to be the top, you know, agent and know everything, you know, all over the place. And again, you know, we've talked about it before of how we want to keep expanding our area, and I don't know if we've accomplished that as much as we keep doing more in the area that we're at. So
right.
That's not a bad thing either. But again,
well, and the area that you're in is really large.
Yeah.
Let's talk. We're going to talk for a second about the area that you're in. It starts where and ends where?
Well,
64133 is like
64113 actually is Gregory Boulevard to 55th Street, state line to Oak. Okay, so this is how I look at it, and then 64114 is another good zip code, and it goes from Gregory all the way out to 119th. You know, state line. I'm not sure if it goes like Warren or so forth when it's out there, but you know, we do mostly close in Missouri, Kansas, mostly Missouri. Here's how I look at it. Again, we just happen to grow up. I grew up there. I lived there and raised my family there. Married my high school sweetheart.
So your friends and your neighbors are there.
Yeah. So that helped me a lot. And then I think my daughter just kind of jumped on board. And again, people that she's gone to grade school and high school and so forth, they're friends.
Like sports with.
Yeah, I mean, so it's been really good. But I think it's really key if you look at in Kansas City where you want to live, whereas you look in Kansas, okay, there's so many places to live. You know, if you're way out south, Stillwell, Stanley, Olathe, you keep coming in, South Leawood, you know, Leawood, you have Lenexa, you have Prairie Village, Roland Park, Mission Hills, Fairway. I mean, so it's huge. So I think, this is just my opinion, it's harder to specialize there because they've got great public schools. It's just so much. But I mean, we don't drive that much. I mean, you know, if you think about where we are for a big bulk of our business, there's not a lot of driving. So, and when we have to run to an inspection or we have to run to meet somebody or appraise whatever, we're so close. It's like it takes us a few minutes. So again, I didn't plan it that way many years ago. It just turned out to be that way. So I've been really blessed, and so I'm fortunate. You know.
Awesome, and I am fortunate that he joined us today. So, did we catch everything? $43 million.
We said that, right?
We did, but it's worth saying twice.
Well, I mean, I can tell you what we did, like since Ely came, 24.
Yeah, what'd we do?
it was 24, then 28, then 35, 36, and then 43.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. So we're not on, are we?
We are. We're still alive.
Oh. Shoot. Sorry about that.
That's what I like about this, is that it's, genuine.
No, I think it actually changed everything. I mean, having my daughter, it's one of the best things to do is having, one of your kids work with you. And,
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love about real estate, is that you can live your life and make money and help people get homes. I mean, yeah, what we get to do every day. We are blessed.
Right. But no, it's, we'll see. Again, she has a lot of good ideas, and, I think for us really to be able to grow, we would have to hire another salesperson. I don't know if there's anybody in Kansas City that does this much with just 2 salespeople.
Yeah.
And that's, but no.
It's a lot, 137 units for 2 people and an admin.
Yes. So I used to have a lot of hair back in the day, and I think part of that is, just this hard, working so hard and so forth. So the people that I usually hang around with are usually shorter than me, so they can't see the top. They can't see the top of my head, and so that's cool. So I like that.
Awesome. So on that note, thank you guys so much for joining us. Please close with Chicago Title. Brandon and Andrea are here in Prairie Village waiting to hear from you. So send your contracts, and thank you so much, George.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.